What's up, guys? This week we'll be making potato leek soup, another soup recipe for the winter, but I don't think you guys would mind. It's probably one of my personal favorites after attempting to make it, and I couldn't believe it myself when I found out this is a relatively simple soup to make. So if you see any leeks on sale, feel free to make it for this upcoming winter. Let's get started.
So there's not many ingredients we have to prep, but the first one we are going to do is going to be the leek. We're going to separate the whites from the greens and cut off the ends as well. Now, leeks are normally pretty dirty and they have a lot of dirt or sand in between each layers. So I'm going to cut it in half and clean each layer by my sink to make sure all of the grit is clean before we cook this in our pot. Don't forget to clean the green parts of your leeks as well, and don't throw it out, as by itself it's not that edible because it's very hard, but imparts a lot of leaky oniony flavor to your stock, so why throw it out? Once we finish cleaning our leeks, we're going to cut these into bite-sized pieces, and you don't have to worry too much as this will be blitzed later in a blender, so just do the best you can. Next thing we got to do is mince up our garlic. Garlic's pretty much one of our aromatics, unless you count onions as well, but it's another aromatic to add another depth of flavor. We're then going to peel our potatoes. I have a nice helper right here. Thank you very much, Connie. And we're going to chop them up into bite-sized cubes. We want to reserve half on the side. If you watch my broccoli cheddar video, you probably can take a guess why, but just trust me on it. Or you don't have to. It's up to you. Now that we finish all our prep, we can finally start cooking our soup. We're going to melt some butter over some heat. If I recall correctly, potato leek soup is a French-style soup, so of course it uses butter. Are you even surprised? Once the butter is melted, we're going to add in our leeks and garlic. Once again, don't worry about the garlic burning since there's so much leeks and water from the leeks that the garlic won't burn. We're going to sweat these with the additional help of salt, as the salt will help draw our moisture and help season our soup throughout. Once the leeks are nice and translucent, we can begin to add in our stock. I have here my veggie scrap stock that I made from my previous videos. Then add in half the potatoes as I described from before and bring this up to a simmer. If you want to learn how to make a homemade stock using some scraps, watch the video I posted here, or just use the store-bought one. For this soup, I feel like homemade stock definitely makes a difference because there's so few ingredients in this soup, and the only really big fatty element is the butter and cream compared to adding cheese in my previous broccoli cheddar video, that it really does shine forth if you use a homemade stock. But hey, if you don't got the time, it's all good. When this has come to a simmer and has been simmering away for a bit, we're going to check if the potatoes are soft enough. If they pierce through a fork with no issues at all, almost seems to be crumbling apart, we're ready to blend them. Once again, I'm going to be using my Vitamix blender, but feel free to use an immersion blender if you don't have anything as fancy as this. It's all good. We're going to blend it as much as you can, and then return it back to the pot. We'll also add in our reserved potatoes from before because I like to have a little bit of texture when drinking my soup, and having some soft potatoes to chew on while you drink your soup is a nice textural balance. Also add some white pepper as well, as this will give it an extra depth of flavor. And now we're going to bring this up to a simmer once again in order to cook the potatoes until they're nice and soft. When the potatoes are finished, you can add your cream at the very end and then finally taste for seasoning. Always taste for seasoning in the end, as usually your soup will require extra salt and you have to adjust yourself based on your taste preferences. When you're ready to serve, scoop some soup into a bowl. I like to top it with some green onions, or scallions you could say. Add a little drizzle of olive oil and crack some fresh black pepper as well. And you have one of my favorite soups that I've ever made so far this year. I hope we all give this a try, maybe even make it for the upcoming New Year's. I know I'll be doing so when I attend my friend's New Year Eve's party. Hey everyone, thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and follow my Instagram at WeekendCooks. Happy New Year's everyone, and I hope next year is even better.